the Linwood-Central-Heathcote Community Board, Sally Buck, welcome, and Alex Davis as well.
Good morning, Mayor and Councillors. Thank you. We've got some pretty mundane stuff. We don't have any Part A's today, so we've got quite a quick run through today. We've got all these things like bus stops and parking and a couple of playground renewals, which is exciting for us. And we've got the Power Heathcote dredging programs continuing, obviously. You all see it when you drive around there. And we've had tree removals there. We've had to come through the board for 3 healthy trees, but don't despair, because we've got a whole heap of trees being put in there to replace these healthy and unhealthy trees that have been removed from there. It's just having access and getting access to the river that some of these trees are having to be removed for the dredging program. And we've made obviously our funding grants from the discretionary response fund towards the Wilston Development Project there. And we've made some decisions under delegation here, and our meetings, times of meetings and things like that, which is always difficult to get. And confirmed a couple of working parties, a Pāwahau Ihutai, Green in the East, and a submissions committee. We've got some representatives chosen to be on different things, especially the Red Zones Transformational Land Use Co-Governance Group. That's a mouthful. And we've got Tim Lindley on that group for us, for our board. And we had a big workshop with a whole lot of the residents from Bromley, and they wanted to discuss with us all the problems they've got around their area with traffic, and this is often to do with heavy traffic using local roads and taking shortcuts, which they don't need to do. And so we had a further workshop to discuss these matters, and we're looking at possible ways forward. So any help with this is good, and we'll be putting this onto our community board plan as to how to deal with it. And we're hearing from staff that one of the streets, Hay Street, was actually on a list with funding for something to be done on that, with funding from NZTA. So that's good. And we had a meeting with residents from Redcliffs as well, and Sumner, about they were experiencing problems with the build of the coastal pathway around that part, and the amount of rocks that were appearing on the beach. However, we heard from staff and the experts that these rocks were basically coming from the actual beach itself. They weren't imported into the beach. They were just, as the work was being done, these were seemed to be coming to the surface. So it wasn't like people were bringing rocks onto the beach. And I think we've sorted that one now, that problem. And we've had meetings regarding our community board plan. We've had workshops to try and see where we're going with that, and it's been written up, and we're hoping that it's going to be really meshed in with council plans, so that what we want, the council wants as well. That will be really good to do that. And I think that's all I've got. The only other thing I want to say today was this has been a very short report, but however there's been a lot of things happening in our board area, and with all the summer events run by different organisations in our area and the things that are going on. And one of the best ways to get to know this, what's happening in our area, is to go onto that newsletter that's put out by staff each week. It's not what we call, it's not the community board newsletter, it's called Week in Brief, and this gives a huge overall look at what is happening in our area, and all the things that are on, all the consultations that are out, the consultations and any alcohol licensing information, things like that. So it comes out by email each week. Week in Brief with Linwood-Central-Heathcote Community Board.
Oh yeah, I guess just one point in regards to the traffic concerns in the Bromley area. That community is obviously a low socioeconomic community, and they've not really felt heard with their issues. So I think it was a really positive thing for us to do, to go to them, and I'd love to see more consultation like that. And we're really going to try and help that community actually advocate for themselves. We have a lot of communities that can already do that, but there's some communities that can't. So we're going to really look at trying to make that process happen with them.
Got any questions?
Right, questions?
No.
No. Yanni, would you like to move the receipt of the report?
Yeah, I'll just speak to it briefly as well.
Yeah, you can speak to it. And Jake, would you like to second it? Yes, good. Right, Yanni.
Yeah, just to say, you know, obviously those Bromley traffic issues are really critical, and part of the issue is the lack of infrastructure, roading, repair post-earthquake, which has meant you've got heavy vehicles using roads that have had damage, which is creating a lot of vibrations and shaking. But it's also to do with one of the bus companies who moved into the area, whose buses are going through a residential street, creating a lot of problems for local residents in terms of being able to sleep. So, you know, it needs to be addressed on a variety of ways, with ECAN, with roading design, and with looking at, I guess, the collective traffic impact, which, you know, hopefully we can get onto. I think just another thing to point out is obviously February 22nd is a pretty special day for so many people in our city, but Estuary Fest is being held as well on that day, and February 22nd had a profound impact on those coastal hillside communities, you know, Sumner, Redcliffs, Mount Pleasant in particular. And so Estuary Fest is really another way in which a community is coming together in a positive way, just to reflect on what's happened, but also to celebrate what's good about being people in our city. And that is really that strength of community that has come through post-earthquake. So just a little bit of an acknowledgement of a special event being held in our board's area. And for those communities, obviously February 22nd is a pretty emotional day for so many different reasons. And then finally, I mean, we have had at the board, although it's not in this update, a briefing on progress around the Linwood Pool, which is, you know, on track and progressing. And that's a really positive thing for our area. And the key thing now is really to just ensure that we get good communication around what's going on, and look at what's happening with Linwood Park at the same time, so we can get a really positive outcome for our community. But yep, I just wanted to support this report, and yeah, happy to put it forward.
Jake.
I just wanted to congratulate the board for no parking restrictions outside Maryvale Courts. Fantastic initiative, well done.
Wow. Thanks, Jake.
Right. Okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sally.